Hello.
Hello, Dominic.
Hello. How's it going, Ralph?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Good.
So, glad I got you on the call here today.
Thank you.
Really wanted to introduce you to my audience. And,
Awesome.
real estate, that's what you do.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people have a lot of interest in real estate, but they just don't know how to get started. And what I'd like for you to do today is just tell them a little bit about yourself, how you got started, where you're located.
Sure. So I grew up in a small mountain town called Flagstaff, Arizona, and my dad, in addition to having a pizza place, was also a home builder, and we would build homes together. So I started tagging along to his job sites when I was about 10 years old, and he taught me how to draw floor plans and how to do everything. So I literally can do everything from draw the plan to do the last nail in the finished carpentry, and I learned that on the job with him. And when I was a senior in high school, I started looking at who some of the most successful people in our little town were, and realized that real estate was a common thread for them. So I decided to get my real estate license, and I became licensed when I was 19 years old. And by that time, we had started constructing homes in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, which was a second home destination for us. But it became my primary residence, and I sold homes there for about 3.5, 4 years. I became one of the top agents in the city, and then I started working with the number one agent in the city. Her name was Joanna, or it still is Joanna, to to sell homes with her. I managed her real estate team, and then I had a really good go for quite a while, and then the market crashed. So I had a really tough go there after that. We had over 100 homes for sale, and not a single one of them was selling. I was borrowing against my credit cards to get cash advances to pay my mortgage, and I had my house for sale, and real estate property values were falling, and I lost my house. So I had to move back in with my parents, and around that time, my dad, we found out that he had lymphoma.
Mm.
So it was a really cruddy time all around. And thankfully, he had a type of cancer that was very treatable, and he was in full remission after a short time. But I had to, during his treatment, open one of the restaurants that he was starting at the time. And so I owned and operated that restaurant for about a year and a half. And then when he was well enough to take it over, I decided to move to Los Angeles with one of my best friends from high school who had gotten his first job out of college out in Los Angeles. And so LA was a big experiment for me. I wasn't sure if I would like it here, but it's been over 6 years now. And after about 4 years of still selling real estate back in Arizona and living in LA, I decided to get my license in California also. And I have been selling real estate based out of an office that is headquartered in Beverly Hills here in LA for about 2.5, almost 3 years now. And it has been an amazing experience. So that's kind of a story about me. I hope that that wasn't too long.
No, that was absolutely perfect. Now I'm gonna jump in here and pick a few things of interest. Now you said out in Arizona, right?
Correct. Yes, that was where we started.
So Arizona, from what I remember, outside of Michigan, Arizona, California, a couple other big places was some of the hardest places hit with the foreclosures.
Definitely, especially the community that I was in. The the market in Lake Havasu City, Arizona is a very secondary and tertiary home market. The properties are mostly purchased by people who are like Southern California boaters or snowbirds who are from the Midwest, from the Pacific Northwest, from Canada. And when the market crashed, I mean, people stop buying second homes before they start losing their first
homes, right?
So we were really, really impacted by the market crash. And then again, impacted when people started losing their primary homes. So it was a really tough time, and the city really suffered. There were some really tough things happening. A lot of my good friends lost their homes, and it wasn't because they had been crazy and over borrowed, or I mean that was a big part of the main market crash, but these are just regular people who were building homes and doing their job, and when there's no business, you don't have any way to pay the bills, and it was a tough time for a lot of people.
Yes. Do you recall in Phoenix a time when they had foreclosure bus tours?
I am not aware of that because I really didn't spend much time in the Phoenix area. So I grew up about 2 hours north of Phoenix, and then my primary real estate market was on the California and Arizona border in Lake Havasu City. So I do remember hearing something about that, but I didn't experience that firsthand.
Well, the reason why I asked about that, because back home here, I used to do real estate too, and a partner of mine, we started a company called Foreclosure Bus Tours.
Oh, wow.
And we were doing it here in Detroit just for a little competition thing amongst the buyers, because the foreclosure epidemic didn't happen yet. It wasn't going on, but we wanted to create a little competition between each other by bringing, a bus full of people to one foreclosed home and showing them here that, it's just basically carpet and paint. You don't have to do what was previous in years previous, that you find a foreclosure to be run down. It would be roof repair, appliances, and everything. So we were educating them, and the whole point of it was, I thought to myself, I said, I don't want to teach a class about real estate, because I stayed on the phone 24/7. Seems like talking to my buddies about different real estate deals, or people want to know how to get this repaired or that repaired. And I said, that would just bore me to try to teach from a classroom, but what if it was more hands-on? And so that's how the idea came up of having a tour, then just bring people to the house and they will see the different stages of flipping a house, basically. So at one place we would have, say, a contractor walk through and say, these are the things that you want to look out for and have repaired and what it can cost. At another home, we would have a full inspection done by a professional home inspector. Another home, we'd have a mortgage and banker there just to show you how to get the loans, how to qualify, whether it was hard money or just you using your actual credit to buy the house. And so at each house, we had 8 houses on the tour. Each house we'd have a step that was really needed, we thought, in terms of flipping the properties. So the thing about that is that we shut down during the fall. We ran it during the summer. We shut down in the fall because nobody wants to go through a cold home.
Sure.
And about December-wise, we started getting phone calls from a ton of people asking us about foreclosure bus tours, and we couldn't figure out why. Now, I was the guy that built the website. That was my first website, and it looked like paper mache. So I got better and better over the years, but at that point I'm thinking, like, why are we so popular? And we found out that a guy in Florida saw our website and saw a news special about us in Detroit, about just basically touring around the foreclosed property, showing potential buyers, all in one day. So an agent such as yourself, he rented a bus in Florida, ABC News picked that up and went on him with the tour. Well, that got a little attention